Zoom, zoom, like a race car flight, but it ain't a car. It's a super fast tortoise going the speed of light, breaking all the
Even in space, a group of tortoises is called a creep. Welcome to Super Fast Tortoise.
Start the morning with coffee in your cup. Time to hang out with friends and chat it up. Bring a smile and good luck. Hit that like button and let's chat it up. Good times start with us, you and me. Good morning, welcome to the morning coffee show. Let's talk from in the shell and share good vibes and good times. Friends and trends that bend the senses. Let's get up, it's senseless. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we bring good vibes and good times. Welcome to the morning coffee show with Super Fast Tortoise. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we have the flow. Good vibes from head to toe.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Super Fast Tortoise Morning Coffee Show.
Whoa! Hey,
Good morning.
good morning. Good
It's gonna be
morning.
tough to match that energy.
Right, get that energy. Get that energy. Woo! Get that electricity coming from Michael Matt Saxon Jones down there. Oh, the vibes. The vibes.
We've got Friday energy on a Thursday.
That's right. That's right. I wish it was Friday. That means the week may be
me
here.
too.
But tomorrow we're gonna talk about the reserve, not the reserve list, the banned and restricted list, and give our opinions about what we think should come off and what could stay on.
Cool.
And we need to make our predictions, which I'll be
Right.
tracking.
Right.
I'm tracking those.
Like
When,
I predict CODIS will be put on the banned restricted list.
here's a question. When are they supposed to do the band?
Monday.
Monday.
It'll be Monday, I think, right around this time.
Mhm.
So the news could be dropping because I think they do it at 9 a.m. Pacific time, which would be noon Eastern time. So we could literally be starting the show knowing what hit the BNR list for all
Right.
formats.
Right, and we're gonna cover the banned restricted announcement when that happens too. Like if it happens before the show or during the show. I'm gonna try to keep an eye on it because it usually hits Facebook and stuff, and I'll be like, "Boom! Let's
Some
talk about what's
breaking
being unbanned."
I'll have the mothership opened and refreshing it like a wild man on Monday's show.
Woo-woo,
So
sounds
if everybody sees me with my reading glasses on all show Monday,
good.
it's because I'm just furiously refreshing.
Nice.
If they're doing it at 9, then it'll be 12 o'clock.
Yeah,
Well,
12 o'clock
usually
Eastern time, which is right now.
usually hits the morning times here. Sometimes, most times.
Yeah. So we'll see.
check it out.
Hopefully we get to talk about it Monday, and if not, then I'm sure Tortoise we can find something to do Monday and talk about it Tuesday.
Yeah. So I want to welcome everybody to Super Fast Tour Show. Hope you got your coffee, your favorite libation. Let me introduce everybody. But first of all, let's introduce these fine people here. First, we have MTG Hillbilly. Then we have the infamous
Tybalt's apprentice wins flawless victory.
Anything but flawless victory.
We have achieved the gong.
the gong. The gong is there, my friends.
I told Tort this morning, I'm like, I will be on this show. There is no way that I am missing the debut of Tybalt's gong. It wasn't happening.
Nice. Then, my friends, the person at the bottom with no face today,
Time to rock!
We got the one Ray Man.
Nice.
right.
I am here.
That's right.
Live and not in living color, but live.
He's like, I'm here. My brain might not be present because I'm tired, but I'm here.
Look, I am a consummate professional. I can turn it on for an hour. Now, after this, I'm cooked. But for the next hour, I've got you guys.
That's right.
Nice.
That's how I feel today. Because like last night, I woke up to go to the restroom at 2 a.m. As soon as I got out of the restroom, the wife came home from work, and we ended up spending some time talking and chilling with each other for a bit, and until I fell back asleep. And man, I'm feeling a little tired because I had that interruption of sleep. But today we got a topic we'll be talking about, pushing in synergy. Like we were going to talk about dealing with looking for games for Spell Table and Convoke, which we will still talk about. But since this is actually part of a series, I wanted to cover this first. Yeah. Nice. Since I sent everybody here a copy of the thing at one point in time last week. I'm trying to help people learn how to build decks. And trust me, I'm not just writing stuff down and assuming it's going to be good. I have proofreaders, people who go through and say, that's a good idea. I like it. Or maybe change this, you know. So it's brain trust. It's a group effort.
Yes.
It's a group effort. That's why it's free on Discord to download the things. It's a group effort. Tabal, I think, is going to go crazy with it. He keeps making these awesome graphics. Like, if you go to Discord, you'll see them. I don't have the graphic here, but if you go to Discord, you'll see these graphics. I think he's going to take all these works and, like, make a book out of it.
That's kind of the goal. We'll see how it goes. I'm cheating because I'm using AI to help me along the way, but I'm using it as a tool.
Right.
The original ideas and stuff we're working on collaborating together, but we're trying to compile them. And I mean, everybody hates on AI. Not everybody. Lots of people hate on AI. If you use it as a tool and you use it properly, you know, it could be your new superpower.
Right. It could be a tool. You know, you don't have to have it do all the work for you. You can use it to do work. That's what I do with my thumbnails. I use AI in my thumbnails to work with the thumbnails. I don't just use AI for my thumbnails. And plus, I do templates, so it's like easy schmeezy.
And you wouldn't be paying an artist to do those anyhow, so it's not like he's taking money out of anybody's pocket. I can hear that in the comments, perhaps also like, you should get an artist. Well, we don't all have the time or the money for that.
That's right.
Right. And how do you find artists? And where would you?
You can go to places like Etsy, and there's another place like Fiverr or something like that.
Fiverr and stuff. That's who did my logo. I had somebody I did for actual artwork that I was going to use repeatedly and have used for years now. That's what I did. I hired somebody to actually come up with me and Tebble hanging out, though he looks a little bit like, I don't know, Joe Biden or something. They're hanging over my shoulder and stuff. A little creepy. I'm not sure how that worked out, but anyhow.
That's funny. Well, good thing for me. I actually created my logo, but it took me years to create the logo because each piece of that logo started as the logo of my channel, and I upgraded it, used the old piece, used the old piece. Then one day, I was looking up pictures on Google and found a cartoon picture of Alf like with his hands like this. I'm like, if I slap a turtle head on there, I could have a good logo. So that's exactly what I did.
Nice. Work in progress.
That's right. And, and later on, I changed the cards he's holding to have like card sleeves I designed for my own sleeves. Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
But all right, my friends, it is time to get to the first segment of the day. The first segment of the day we love getting to, we love watching, talking about. That is
Card of the Day.
Whoa. So Starstorm.
Oh man.
I just read your private chat, but this
it's
one
okay.
this was sent in by TCG the other day ago, and I missed it.
Nice. Okay, good.
So tomorrow, your card will be card of the day.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to make sure we had one. I'm glad he picked this card because I love this card.
This card is nuts. I mean, first of all, if you don't need it, you can pitch it for 3 mana and draw a card. But for 2 red mana at instant speed and X, you can deal like 7 to each creature. It's potentially a good board wipe.
Very.
Yep. I ran 4 of these in the sideboard of Astral Slide when I was playing red-white slide back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was a million goblin decks in the format. Onslaught was probably the strongest goblins have ever been.
Mm-hmm.
You had Goblin Pile Driver, you had Goblin Sharpshooter, you had the Goblin Matron, you had the Goblin War Chief. Goblins in Type 2 back in the day was absolutely bonkers.
Right.
So you had to have multiple answers to keep them off the table. And Starstorm was a phenomenal 4 of in your board. I actually, in some tournaments I'd go to, if I saw a bunch of the players who I knew were on goblins, before I registered my deck, I would put 2 of these in the main board. Because in the games I didn't play goblins, like Tort said, it's cycle 3. So I can pay the 3, cycle it, then I can still rift stuff, I can still slide things. This card was just fantastic for its time. I still think it's pretty okay. It, like Tort said, it's an instant speed board wipe in theory. I may have to put one of these in my Gearson deck. It does hit everything, so that's a bit.
It's funny you should mention Goblin, because the first Goblin I thought of was the Brash Taunter. So,
Brash Taunter, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would run this with, just for a little extra spice.
Yeah, definitely.
Brash Taunter was a little bit before Onslaught's day.
Yeah.
This was before Brash Taunter's day a little bit, by a few years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great card. Thank you, TCG dude, for making me think about a card I've not thought about in a long time. I love Starstorm. I have a playset of foils of these somewhere because I still have my Astral Slide deck somewhere in this house.
Oh.
Yeah, this is just a fun card. But now with that, we're going to move to the picture of the day. Picture of the day. Boom.
You didn't need to share that. That happened to be after our Commander game that I found that mug. And I can tell you, I did buy the mug. So if I ever win again, I will be playing that. Like I will be drinking out of that the day after you see me on this, when you see me on the stream.
Right. Well, any picture that's a good, decent, safe picture we can use on the show, so for picture of the day. So if you are out there watching the show and part of Discord, you can share pictures that are, safe for viewing, safe for work and all that stuff. We can do that. You can share them. Yeah, you can participate. What's that? Aaronsaurus Rex. Hello, Aaronsaurus. Whoop, whoop, roar. Does love playing goblins. Whoop, whoop.
Plenty of possibilities, yeah.
Morning, E.
The same. Trying to be awesome today, but I'm exhausted from being freaking awesome yesterday. That's right.
I don't delude myself. I got lucky that that Commander game we played a couple nights ago.
Hey, yeah. Magic's like poker. Sometimes it's much better to be lucky than good.
That's right.
Magic's like poker. I mean, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Hey, if there's a reason that a lot of like really high level Magic players also play professional Texas Hold'em.
Yeah.
Gabriel Nassif, who was just, I don't know if he made top 8, but I know he made top 16 of the Pro Tour this past weekend. Is also like a millionaire from playing poker, from just poker, not counting his Magic. So there's a lot of overlapping skill set.
Yeah, I used to know a Magic player who played poker too and did good. He was featured on a couple shows and stuff, and I can't remember his name.
Nice.
But yeah,
you kind of play poker to get the money to buy the Magic cards, I think.
Yeah,
that's right. Especially these days.
Well, not Magic related, but my grandfather, when he was living, he always had to have an armed guard go with him to the casino because that man had so much luck. He'd go in with $1,000. He'd come out with $2,000 or $3,000 that night.
Ooh,
nice.
Ooh, nice.
That's
awesome. And now with that, my friends, we're going to get to the next segment of the day. Brought to you
Presented by Discord. We have the question of the day.
Are you ready for the question of the day? I made this question last night.
Do it
for today. It's full of energy. That's right, everybody. It's time to rock. Yeah, that's right, everybody. What dinner, this is the question of the day. What dinner food makes you want to rock? What gets you excited? When you hear that dinner is being made to eat that night, that gets you super excited? What is it? I want to know. Put comments in the comment section below. Let's go.
Beans and cornbread.
Oh yeah, I love some cornbread. This is going to sound so lame and so boring. one of my favorites is tuna casserole, which is horrible, but because of my occasional gout, like I have to watch my fish intake. So I'm actually happy to get that occasionally. So I'm not sure it makes me want to rock, but that is a favorite.
I cook all my meals, so it's none of them. The food that does it, is Chinese food. I love Chinese food. It's my favorite food in the world. My dad introduced it to us when we were really little. We went to one of the few Chinese places in Indiana. There was, this was not a buffet. This was sit down, order off the menu. I was probably 7, 8 years old, and I've been obsessed with it ever since.
Nice.
Well, my true answer is, I do like beans and cornbread, but my true answer is food in general gets me all excited. Especially a buffet now.
Right.
Hillbilly's excited, and the proprietors are like, "Oh my God, he's back!"
Exactly.
Sometimes they don't even let me in the front door because they afraid I might put them out of business.
Right.
They just run over and lock it when they see Hillbilly.
Yeah.
Aerosaurus Rex says backstrap steak. Hell yeah.
Oh.
So there's 2 meals that make me go crazy. One of them I haven't had for years, but that's Navajo tacos. If you're cooking Navajo tacos, dude, I'm jamming and headbanging all throughout the house.
What is a Navajo taco?
So basically, you get like a deep fried bread, like a deep fried bread. I can't remember the kind of bread, but it's deep fried. It's not. Okay. It's like a kind of like a bumpy flatbread, and you just put taco stuff on it. Just taco.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I cannot think of what it's called. I'm wondering if it's the same. If it's the same kind of thing that is really popular in Canada, and the reason they made it was because it was all the ingredients were really common in the ration packages that the territories were giving to the indigenous tribes. I think is it Bana?
I don't know. I do not know. Actually, I never heard of that before. So yeah, Navajo tacos is basically like a deep fried bread, like a flatbread type thing with taco stuff on it, just regular taco stuff, and you deck it out. It's really good. But the one thing I have more often that makes me go crazy is when I make homemade chili.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
with or without beans.
We do beans and meat.
That's the only way chili should be served. I'm going to start a fight in the comments. Perhaps. I don't know. People have strong opinions on that, whether chili has beans in it or not. But to me, it's not chili if it doesn't have some beans in it.
Well, what about chili dogs? Do you want bean chili on your chili dogs?
I'm okay with that.
I prefer beanless chili on my chili dogs.
Okay. I could understand that.
I would say an inappropriate comment, but I'm not.
Rex says, I also enjoy chicken chili mac and cheese. That's not bad.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, I like mixing chili and mac and cheese. You like regular chili.
Yep.
So it's good. All right, my friends, it is time to get to that segment of the day. We'll remind you that we have a topic.
Wow.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
Welcome to Super Fast Tortoise. This is a free show on YouTube. It is completely volunteer-based. This program is made possible by viewers like you, and share, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell. And also by contributions made to your Super Fast Tortoise channel and from viewers like you. You all rock. You are awesome.
You're crazy!
You are watching Super Fast Tortoise.
Wait a minute.
So I looked it up.
Paid?
I looked it up, and Navajo bread that Tortoise talking about that is made from Navajo tacos is the same stuff that in Canada they call bannock, BANNOCK. And it is a bread that is made from the exact same ingredients. And people who are listening will learn something. The reason they make it that way is because that is what the provincial governments and the governments in the states gave to the Native Americans in ration packages. So
nice.
That's an interesting little note there.
That's pretty cool to know. I did not know that. That's good information. The more you know. Dun, dun,
Exactly.
dun. I wish I had the little star clip. Cane Shaker, what's up? Beans, magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. The more you toot, the more you have fun. Let's have beans for everyone. Yeah. All right, let's get on topic here, my friends. Pushing a theme in synergy. So pushing a theme in synergy, in short, is the Magic the Gathering is more than just finding cards with synergy or signpost cards. It's where cards tell you how to navigate a deck. Like sometimes you need to push synergy with themes and cards that separate from themes and not that kind of combine your synergy with not intentionally being in your theme, but just works in your theme. I should just probably read this straight out so it makes sense. Sometimes you need to push a synergy or theme with cards separate from the themes and cards that combine synergy outside the normal realm that we are used to. For example, a GRIXIS red, black, blue deck that cares about graveyard recursion, like a Graveyard Matters deck that cares about reanimation, will run cards like Merfolk Looter for 2 mana, where this creature taps to draw a card and discard a card. This card in most decks is okay at best, but fits stronger in a deck that reanimates from a graveyard because its ability, unassumingly, is like drawing 2 cards. Because one, you are drawing a card, and in most cases, that card you're discarding is going to be a card you yourself can interact with later in the game. Giving you more, I just lost my spot. Because for one, you are drawing a card, and in most cases, the card you're discarding is going to be a card you're going to interact with yourself. Like you're going to be able to reanimate. Giving you more than average value. But in this case, if I were to mention another card like Tormenting Voice, a 2 mana card, which on cast, you discard a card to draw 2 cards, you can see the power in a simple little comment and how it affects this deck. In simple terms, I just gave you 2 cards that were not designed for the Reanimator deck on purpose, but in the Reanimator deck, they push a theme and have synergy, which helps put a focus on deck design and theme. Now, notice how I use cards that draw in this example. Now, the cards I used are not super powerful in Commander, but what the takeaway here is I showed you 2 cards that open up options to break basic game rules, so on and so forth, to fuel your strategy. And almost every theme in Magic Gathering has support for it, and cards that support your theme from an outside design. Now, there are 4 themes of Magic that we see in precons, pre-constructed decks, and regular Magic sets. For example, Hackball, the Surging Soul, a green-blue commander that cares about exploring, which in short reveals the top card of your library and lets you know one of 2 things. You're putting a +1 counter on a creature or putting a basic land to your hand with the option of throwing the card in the graveyard if it's a non-land card. Yes. Now, a lot of people build this deck on +1/+1 counter themes. And on this creature with the option of ditching and pitching an online card, people like to run a card. I'm just going to skip here. Like to run a card called Fathom Mage, who has nothing to do. Fathom Mage has nothing to do with exploring, but exploring puts counters on cards. Fathom Mage says if a +1 counter is put on it, you draw a card. People run that as a forced synergy card or a push synergy card. Because it works in the deck, it's just not designed for the deck. Because if you read the first line of text on Fathom Age, it cares about creatures bigger than it coming into play. So it's just one of those fun cards. But a card that people do run that's forcing card is Herald of Seekest Dreams, which says creatures with +1 counters can't be blocked. That even comes in the precon Hackball has. And it's forced synergy because it's telling you what kind of creatures cannot be blocked. You want to achieve that goal. Whew. But anyways, I hope I'm not confusing you all right here.
I think I got it.
So here's my thing. I understand completely what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I fear that people that we're targeting with this are not.
Well, why don't you make it simple?
I think I can. I think I can boil this down a little bit. If you were, and we'll use Tort's example, so we'll stick with what Tort was saying. If you were playing Reanimator, right, your objective is to reanimate big things. But to do that, you have to get those big things into your bin somehow, right? And the reanimation package that you run, i.e., the way that you're going to get things out of your graveyard, doesn't necessarily tell you how you're going to put them in there. So you look for cards that are going to do that, right? You're looking for cards that, while they're not on your theme of reanimation, are going to synergize with your reanimation. That's why the Merfolk Looter is a great example. If you have a trying to think of something big nasty that you might want to reanimate, like a Galta, for example. If you're playing Golgari Reanimator, you have a Galta in your hand. Well, you don't want to pay all that mana for it, but so you need some way to put it in your graveyard to cast it with Reanimate. So you have like Merfolk Looter. You have a card like Compulsion, which is a blue 1, discard a card, draw a card. You need something that feeds into your objective.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. I think you need to just as you're building. I have a new Occam's razor that I'm comparing everything to, and that's stripping away everything except the simplest things. And so for me, if a keyword is doing what you want already, it's competitive. But if it asks you to jump through hoops, it's a trap. So the idea here being the fact that you want to reanimate things from the graveyard, but how do you get them there? You may have to break the theme of what you're doing and look for something else that has a advantageous secondary effect.
The word I think we're looking for is enabler. You need an enabler.
Yes. Yes. So you might have to break your theme a little bit, or find new ways of implementing that theme.
Oh yeah, and like that's one of the beautiful things about Magic. It was one of the things that I talked about in this document that you can find on Discord, is using a source like edhrec.com, because you can type in a commander and it'll give you cards that push theme, force themes, and show you what people are playing to make the deck work, and kind of give you bracket levels to figure out what kind of deck you're building with certain cards, and tell you, kind of give you power level cards. Lots of information, but edhrec.com is really good for like typing in a card and finding cards that you might not think about. Because like when you buy a precon, the precon there is like, bam, here's a deck that works. Sometimes it has 2 different visions in the deck, but when you want to fix the deck, upgrade the deck, you try to take out one of those visions and like put a focus on one theme, and people look for cards that fit that particular theme. Kenny Checker says reanimator decks will usually also run cards that sacrifice. That's right. That's a good point. Like I was about to bring up my Hearth Rule deck. Like one card that almost became an all-star last night but didn't was Zoran Orb. Zoran Orb costs 0 mana. You can sacrifice a land to gain 2 life. Well, yesterday I was about to rip a lot of lands and reanimate a massive amount of lands, but I died before that.
One more turn. That's all I need to do is one more turn.
One more turn. Yeah. One more turn.
Zoran Orb is a 0 mana cost. Now, a lot of 0 cost mana cards cards in Magic are not must answers. But Zoran Orb is one of those examples of a card that if you're playing a deck like Hearthroll, you cannot let Zoran Orb sit around on the board, because that card will kill you sooner than later.
Yeah, people let it sit down for a while.
Yeah. And this is why when Rayman plays against Tort playing Hearthole, Ray has to kill Tort quick, because Ray knows what Hearthole does. I played way too many games with that deck.
Hattie says we all died here too early. That's funny. True. But yeah, but like when you're pushing a synergy, you're trying to find cards that might not just be regular cards and that come with a deck or something. But like you look for older sets to have similar themes with cards that were designed for different mechanics or different archetypes that share a common thread with your deck, right? You like I said, Merfolk Looter, an all-star in that reanimator example. Like it's okay in every other deck, but a reanimator just pushes the power just a little bit more. So it's more on theme. You know.
Sorry, don't want to cut you off.
You're good.
Okay, what I was going to say was something else that you brought up there that is using EDH Rec. And
Right.
I have to say, EDH Rec is something that I initially avoided using a lot because my simple thought process was, well, if everybody's using it, I'm going to wind up playing a generic deck the way that everybody else is.
Uh-huh.
But if I use it as a resource and just a resource, I can find good cards that I know are going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So we have our strategy, our theme right there.
Right.
But then it's on me to go a little bit beyond that and think myself what cards are going to help enable this. And that's where you kind of pair off. So there's nothing wrong with going there, getting your basic idea, but then you need to go a little bit beyond that, like I said, and push it a little bit by adding in something else that's different.
Right.
Finding a new way to use it. Find a keyword or something that you latch onto that's your main theme, but then figure like, okay, like you said, how do I enable that?
Mm-hmm.
I need things in the graveyard. How do I get those back? Something that adds counters. How do I have, or what card out there will add counters for discarding or add counters for something, reward you for something you're already doing in the game?
Right.
Yeah. And here's the thing. A lot of cards you look at and you're like, well, this is not a very good card, but they all have a place in a deck. One of the ones I specifically have in one of my decks that I don't see anybody use. I use Shu Ifrit, the Osteo-Harmonist from Edges of Eternity in my Sephiroth deck, and I love this guy. He's 2 black and 1 for a 2/3, and his ability is tap, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Now, in theory, that sounds great, right? You're just tapping and putting something back. But there's a downfall to it, that it's just a skeleton and it has no other types or abilities, right? So normally if you're wanting to bring a creature back from your graveyard, you're wanting the whole package. You're wanting its abilities. You're wanting everything about that card. But in Sephiroth, a lot of times I just want a body. I don't care what it does. I just need a body on the table, because a body on the table means triggers for like all the stuff I run in the deck.
Well, when Grizzlebrand is unbanned, you can throw that in your deck.
So if Grizzlebrand gets unbanned, then I will guarantee that Grave Pact will be put on the Game Changers list, and I'm not trading out Grizzlebrand for Grave Pact. I'm sorry, I am not.
An Epcor, yo, what's up?
But I guess my point was just to, a card that there are very, very few Magic cards that are just bad, right? Somewhere there is a deck that will take a card that everybody else is like, man, this card's terrible, and make it maybe not an all-star, but a good player, right? Like it'll be a good card in your deck. It'll be one of the boys. And I think part of the fun, especially of Commander, because you're not, in theory, trying to just eke out every little tiny bit of power that you can get. Because you're trying to build fun decks. You're trying to build decks that are fun for the casual environment, unless you're playing CDH, which again is its own thing. Is that you can find these cards that hardly anybody's using or no one's playing as their commander, and make interesting things out of them that you can take to your local game store or on Spell Table or Convoke and have a good time with.
Right. What is it?
Now, that said, there are bad cards in Magic. There's just not a ton of them. There are some cards in Magic that are just so terrible that it has no place in any deck, and it was just they needed a card for, well, guys, we've got a field slot number 190 from this block. Well, let's go to the trash bin.
Right. I'm trying to remember the name of a card that someone won. But there's this card from Future Sight where it was a white card, It basically bounced the land when it has an ability or something like that. And it's before landfall was a thing. Someone came in with a rogue deck one day at F&M, and this was before Commander was a huge thing, and just wrecked the night, like wrecked the games with it and won every game he played. And everybody was excited about this rogue deck.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you can find a gem. EDH Rec is there just to show you what people are playing, to give you an idea of what they're looking for. But there's cards out there that go deep. Or if you're like me and you build a really cool deck called Rafika the Mini and you look up cards to upgrade it and they just show you all the cards you basically have, you're like, oh, I'm good.
Well, it depends on what you're going for too, what you're trying to build. You know, are you keeping it competitive? Are you keeping it casual?
Right.
What's the pod you're going to play in, and what's the experience that you want to have?
Right. And see, pushing in the synergy is something you want to think about with your deck building, because you're looking for cards, older cards that fit the theme that you're building that might not be designed for that particular archetype. Because sometimes you'll find that treasure, like that thing that's really good for your deck. And sometimes no one's looking for it, but it also increases your game knowledge and your card knowledge as you look for different cards. Like one of the things I do a lot when I'm looking for cards and I'm not using EDH Rec, I go on to Google and I type MTG, type in the exact ability thing I want my deck to do, like a specific ability, and I'll bring up the Gatherer, which is another good website, and in there it will show me all the cards that have that particular ability that I'm looking for, so I can get that consistency in the deck. Because that's what you're trying to do with pushing and synergies, get that consistency going on. And we discussed this in systematic deck design, which is one of the PDFs you can get off of Discord that discusses is like getting that consistency is helping you create that flow, that more fluid gameplay. You know, because one thing sometimes people struggle with when deck building, especially for newer players, is understanding the importance of consistency. You know, you want to play land, you want to be able to play a spell. That's like when you're percentile pushing, and you're pushing cards into certain slots, like removal, ramp, and all that. I say all that, but I really mean draw, removal, ramp, and draw. Like when you're pushing cards into the slots, that's why you're looking to push them in your 1, 2, 3 utility spots, your 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana utility spots, so you can have that early game consistency to build up quick. I just went through like 4 different things we talked about before just to get to a point. It helps with consistency.
This is a nesting topic.
Yeah. All right.
I'm going to add another layer to it. If I don't mean to cut you off again, sorry, but another thing about the advantage of going to EDH Rec and the Gatherer specifically is for an older player like me, there have been errata on cards.
Yeah, there has.
So you're going to, by staying current, and again, I'm talking about using tools to improve your gameplay, because maybe you don't have the time to sit at home and do this or whatever and stuff. So there's nothing wrong with going online and checking these things, and you may find that, for example, cards maybe have the subtype of wizard added to them is the best example I could think of, just because I was talking to my wife specifically about a Merfolk that she pulled out. And she's like, this seems like it should be a wizard. And sure enough, we looked it up, and it's like, oh, well, now this goes in my Analia deck. So definitely worth checking out those things if you've been away from the game for any length of time. Again, we offer or suggest these websites because it can kind of shortcut to where you get to you get your knowledge a little bit faster, a little bit better, and a little bit more accurately that way.
Yes, it's like how they errated the word naga into snakes.
Yeah. And here's the thing: if you're wanting, I don't just mean be better to win the game. I mean, if you want to be a better all-around Magic player, you should use every resource at your disposal. And I'm just going to tell you, when I was playing a lot of competitive Magic, so we're talking about starting in about 1990, late 97, early 98, all the way up through 2004, we would have given our left nut for a standard website that worked like EDH Rec does to
Right.
give us something as a jumping off point. Star City Games, which everybody knows is like a big retailer, they used to have all kinds of articles and stuff. They had a subscription service that I think was $9.99 a month. Now this is late 90s, early 2000s, so that was a lot of money for a subscription back then.
Yeah.
But we paid that because there were people writing articles who were doing what we have access to now, and what we have access to now is even better, right? So now I'm not saying to go and build your entire deck off there, but if you want to be a better all-around Magic player, you should use every single resource at your disposal.
Yeah,
And to
right.
not say I'm going to use EDH Rec, and this is no slight on Tybalt, but to say that I'm not going to use EDH Rec out of some, thinking that you're just better than that or whatever, right?
Like I said, it was a simple brain process that didn't
Exactly.
really rationally go through the whole thing.
Right. You're doing nothing but cheating yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the information's out there. EDH Rec, I love their podcast, by the way. I don't know about chilling somebody else's podcast on our show, but the EDH Rec podcast is really cool if you're into numbers. Now, I'm not a math guy, but I love numbers. And they do such a good job on their show of breaking down Commander, and percentages of decks and what they use and what they don't use. I love that stuff. I love looking at that kind of stuff. And I think it's just good for, again, even if you just want to go and get some ideas. Oh, hey, maybe if you see 2 or 3 cards that you didn't know existed to slot into stuff that maybe even goes, oh, well, hey, this card works with this other card that I do know about. Right. So you're expanding your knowledge of cards. You're expanding your knowledge of combos. And in Magic, like most things, knowledge is power. Knowing what cards exist, knowing what cards synergize with other cards that aren't even your own in your own deck. It just gives you a little bit of an edge. And sometimes, as these guys will tell you, because they were playing a game just a few nights ago where one little thing went slightly the other way, and Tybalt kills 2 people instead of dying.
Yeah.
The main takeaway I got from all what you said is the internet was not always around.
What? Oh my God!
The internet was around. It just wasn't. It wasn't the Magic knowledge of repository that it is now.
That's right.
Repository of knowledge. I guess that's how that.
I mean, how old do you have to be to remember when there was no internet? Jeez.
I do. I remember. I remember when we as lay people did not have access to the internet.
That's right. Yes.
Because universities have had it since the mid 80s.
Right.
Us as people, I think the first time I used it was probably in 94 or 5.
Back then, it was more land system based. More to it than that, but yeah.
They were actually running lines from university to university, and then you would go, TCU would connect to SMU, and SMU would connect to the University of Dallas, and the University of, they were kind of running, they were daisy chaining basically to help build the infrastructure.
That's crazy. Yeah. The internet was a crazy place to be. And it's a good resource to learn everything. It's a good resource to watch us on YouTube. So if you like the content you've been watching now, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you like today's episode. It's amazing. Hillbilly.
Helps us a lot.
Yo.
What's your thoughts on everything? You've been quiet.
Yeah, I'm just soaking this information in because some of it is information I do not know about that.
Oh, yeah. And you can get the PDFs if you want to read them. Well, I know I've sent you all individually, pretty much.
Yeah.
You can go get the PDFs on Discord for free. No one's asking you for money, except Tybalt. He might gatekeep.
I actually don't know. I don't know if Tort has the ability to ping people in his Discord. I don't use Discord that often. But if you have any questions, if you're reading through one of these PDFs and you have questions, feel free to ping me specifically. I'll answer any question that you might have. I teach a lot of people how to play Magic. I I've been teaching a lot of people recently actually to play Magic. I taught somebody new last night how to play Magic. And they almost won their very first game, which was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
How do you? All right. How do you find cards you don't know exist?
That's
possible?
EDHREC is a great resource, especially
one of the things we've been tooting about this entire episode.
yeah. Like if you're looking for cards that you don't know exist, if you're looking for, we'll use Hillbilly's CODIS deck as an example here. Go on EDHREC, type in CODIS over on the left hand, or you can click on if you just scroll down. Actually, if you just search for CODIS, hit enter, and scroll down, you'll see cards. Now, the first few cards that you see are probably stuff you're already aware of, right? But the further you scroll, just scrolling down, you're going to see cards that people are using in CODIS that you've probably never heard of. There's a lot of cards that I see that I've never heard of. That 10-ish, 15 years break in there kind of broken up a little bit. There's big gaps in my Magic knowledge. So scrolling EDHREC is one of the things that I do just for fun, just to learn new cards. I'll click on their commander of the day and just scroll down.
And also, one thing that's great about EDHREC when you look for cards, like you type in CODIS and brings up all the cards. Underneath the cards, it gives you a synergy level to tell you how much it synergizes with your deck.
Yep, they have high synergy cards. They have top cards. They have which game changers people are using, and then they're just sorted by type: creatures, instant sources, utility artifacts, enchantments, blah blah blah.
You can sort them by price too. I think from highest to lowest. I don't know about everything, but you can sort them by price to see where it fits in your budget.
Also, Hillbilly, another thing that you can do if you have the time, and most of these, I think EDHREC has it, as well as the Gatherer. Usually there's a little button up there in the corner that says random.
Yeah.
And just for the heck of it, every now and then, hit that button and see what it pulls up. And if you don't like what you see, hit it again. It may give you just the inspiration that you're looking for and stuff.
Tybalt's apprentice wins. Flawless victory.
You might find just what you need to pull off your flawless victory.
Sorry.
I had to do it. That's good advice.
There's a bunch of cards that I'm interested in, or mechanics that I'm interested in. I don't know what's out there.
Just go up to them and talk to them. Get to know them better.
I would also recommend Scryfall. If you go to Scryfall, you can, if you have a mechanic like mill, for example, if you put mill in quotation marks, well, it's the one I can think of that I know he's interested in.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Don't tell him any more about that. He doesn't need to know anything else about mill.
If you just put mill in quotation marks up in the Scryfall search and hit enter, it should, in theory, on a good day. Sometimes Scryfall's API goes a little bonkers, but it'll show you literally every single card in Magic the Gathering that has the word mill in its text, and I'm about 95% sure that it uses the errata text.
It does.
So the card itself may not say mill in the picture that you see if it's an old version, but the errata text does say mill now.
Yes, it does. It does. I've used it before.
Well, my problem with Scryfall is when I try to use it, I get confused because I don't know how to use that dang on site.
Yeah, Scryfall is really complicated. But like I said, if you're looking for just a keyword specifically, you should be able to just put that one keyword in quotation marks and hit enter, and it should show you the abilities, the cards that have that word in it.
Yeah. You can always ask someone like Ray or I. If we know the answer, we'll tell you how to do something.
I try to look. If I don't know, I'll try to look it up. I've gotten really good. Being judges for 40K and Magic has sharpened my Google Foo skills pretty good. I can look things up usually pretty quickly and get you an answer. And I try to answer any question anybody has. Now, there's times where I'm just going to be like, hey, I don't know. I can't find an answer. Maybe I know someone who might. I'll reach out.
There you go.
But if this is just for Hillbilly. If anybody has any questions and you reach out to me for them, I will try my best to give you an answer, or at the very least, point you in the right direction. If it's a really complicated thing, I might need to point you to something to read, but I will do my best to attempt to help you.
Yeah, do it. But you know what time it is, my friends?
Oh my
Hit
goodness.
that subscribe button. Become a part of the creep.
Too much to take. Show is lit. MTG3, are you game? Rise, creep, rise, building a following as we gain. Spitting fire like a dragon, no one can bring us down. MTG3 in the house, we own this town. Ripping through the beats with a fury.
Oh,
Woohoo!
oh look, Hillbilly switched himself up just for the show section.
Oh, it's just a head and arms. Ah.
He's got Harry Potter's cloak.
That's right. I don't know if that's fair, Hillbilly.
You can't deny us your face this whole time just to pop in at the end.
Yeah.
Hey, as long as your deck stays visible on the table, I don't care if you are. As long as your deck is visible, I don't care if you are.
That's
See, I was trying to see if there was any invisible cards out there I want to invest in.
There's a card called Invisibility that costs 2 blue and makes the creature unblockable. That's good for CODIS.
Yeah, it is.
with that, my friends, it's time to get to that shill section, that thrill section, where you get to learn where you can find these wonderful people on their own channels and stuff like that. And we're going to start off with the delectable, the evil, the sensational. Tibalt.
Hey, well, thank you for having me on. I'm always happy to be here. I too am happy to answer any questions. You can find me at madsaxon@yahoo.com. If you want to email me there, you can find me probably through Discord. I just dropped an episode featuring Rhino Blitz. So we got that out this morning. So if you go to my Tybalt's Apprentice on YouTube, you can find it there. If you will find everything Tybalt's Apprentice, go to darkritual.site. Why darkritual.site? It's my favorite card from back in the day. So yeah, anyhow, that's where you can find me. So thanks for having me on.
Oh, no problem. If you don't see links in the chat, there are in the description. Ho, 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 ho. With that, we're going to move on to the one Ray Man.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Fantastic show today. As you can see, I am not at Mr. B's Game Lounge. I'm streaming from my humble abode, but I will be there this evening. We are doing Magic all week this week instead of just doing, well, we're doing organized Commander all week this week instead of just on Friday. So if you can come out tonight, get some promo packs. I actually won our pod last night and pulled a Tezzeret the Cruel Captain out of my promo. So I was pretty happy about that. I can never have too many Tezzerets. I love that guy.
Mm-hmm.
You can check us out on YouTube at Mr. B's Game Lounge. We are going to have 2 games this coming week, as long as the weather holds. I keep saying this, but if the weather holds. And then after that, I can officially announce this now, and I'll do it on the morning show here. We are going to switch our format up for our Commander games to pre-con games, and with an added little hitch of being King of the Hill. So if a player wins, they will be back the next week with the same Commander deck that they played the week before. And we'll see how many wins they can rattle off. And then at some point, we'll do a little tournament. We'll do a little 4-pot of the multiple winners. So all of that can be found at Mr. B's Game Lounge on YouTube and at Mr. B's Game Lounge in person.
Yeah.
So
so
go ahead.
I was going to say, if you can't find the links in the chat, they're in the description below.
Yeah, down in the doobly-doo.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm on a 23-hour break. I'll see you all mañana.
Yeah, man, all the words. With that, it's time to get. Hey, Billy.
Hey, everybody. February 25th, I'll be playing with the Turtles.
Nice.
Wait for that early access. It'll be directly right after this show. The way I do my early access, I don't stream, morning stream. I come here, then I jump in straight into the early access. But anyway, that's all in the future. But this afternoon at 2 o'clock, I'm going to be doing another arena stream. I'm going to try to come up with a new deck. I'm running out of ideas, but you can also join my Discord and be part of my Discord, and you can collaborate a deck with me.
Ooh, collaborate with the deck. Ooh. checked it out. You can interact on Hibbley's Discord. Woo woo! Why don't you throw your Discord link in the chat?
Yeah, I ain't got it.
All right, everybody, it's Super Fast Tortoise. We're gonna try to throw a Commander game tonight. I don't know what bracket level yet. Probably a 3, but I'll try to finagle what I can. See what players I can get in tonight. If we can't get a game tonight, I will go live. Just do a random chat and chill. At 7 p.m. Central Standard Time is the time frame, my friends. With that, I want to thank you, everybody, for being here on the show. To Balt, Rayman, Hibbley, thank you for being here. Everybody in chat, Cane Shaker, especially you. Special thanks to you because you are a special guest always on the show. And everybody else, you are important. Thank you for watching the show. I want to thank you, my channel subscribers, for growing the channel members for supporting me the way you do. And with that, I want to remind you that you are loved. Someone's thinking about you. And if you can, say and or do something positive for someone else today because you might be the change they need today. With that, let's get out of here. I want to thank you, channel members of the channel, for supporting this creep the way you do. You are awesome. And you subscribers, everybody that subscribes, you're doing amazing too. Thank you very much for all that you do.
Start the morning with coffee in your cup. Time to hang out with friends and chat it up. Bring a smile and good luck. Hit that like button and let's chat it up. Good times start with us, you and me. Good morning, welcome to the morning coffee show. Let's talk from in the shell and share good vibes and good times. Friends and friends that bend the senses. Let's get a bit sexless. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we bring good vibes and good times. Welcome to the morning coffee show.